Welcome. In the following video, we will discuss general restaurant safety. This short presentation is provided to you by your employer in partnership with Modern Business Associates as an awareness program to reduce workplace injuries. If you have any questions regarding the material in this presentation, please contact your manager. General safety rules of your restaurant. Conduct. Horseplay and practical jokes are not allowed. Employees are required to work in a cautious manner and to display accepted levels of behavior. Conduct that places the employees or others at risk or that threatens or intimidates others is forbidden. Drugs and alcohol and the usage and or possession of illegal drugs or alcohol on company property or on company time is forbidden. Reporting to work while under the influence of illegal drugs or alcohol is prohibited. Housekeeping. You are responsible to keep your work area clean and safe. Clean up several times throughout the day, disposing of trash and waste in approved containers, wiping up any drips or spills immediately, and putting equipment and tools away as you are finished with them. Keep in mind, the following areas must remain clear of obstructions at all times. Those are aisles and exitways, fire extinguishers and emergency equipment, and all electrical breakers, controls, and switches. Injury reporting. All work-related injuries must be reported to your supervisor immediately. Failure to immediately report injuries could result in a loss of workers' compensation benefits. After each medical appointment resulting from a work-related injury, you must contact your supervisor to discuss your progress. You must also give your supervisor any paperwork that you received at the appointment. Your supervisor will then forward that paperwork to the workers' compensation provider. Your employer will provide transitional return to work or light duty jobs for persons injured at work. Transitional work is meant to allow the injured or ill employee to heal under a doctor's care while she or he remains productive. Employees required to return to work immediately upon full release. General emergency guidelines. Employees should review the following guidelines to prepare for an emergency. Stay calm and think through your actions. Know the emergency numbers for fire, police, and ambulance. In most locations, it is 911. Know where the exits are located. In the event of an emergency, do not take elevators if your restaurant has them. Use the stairs. Do not hesitate to call or alert others if you believe that an emergency is occurring. You will not be punished. Know the locations of first aid supplies and emergency equipment for use by those who are authorized and properly trained. Evacuation. There may be times when you do have to evacuate your facility. Following these steps will make it an orderly and safe endeavor. Upon becoming aware of a fire alarm, employees should immediately evacuate the facility without delay to retrieve personal belongings or to wait for coworkers. Also, all doors should be closed as the last person passes through. Managers should be the last people to leave the restaurant. Any employee having a mobility, visual, hearing, or other condition that may hinder them from becoming aware of an emergency or evacuating should request special assistance through management. Upon exiting the building, all personnel should report for a head count. We want to make sure that you evacuated safely. If any employee is missing, an immediate report should be made to your manager, who will in turn report to the first available fire department officer. At no times should you re-enter the building. Employees should stay together in a group so that periodic updates on the situation can be issued. The order to reoccupy a job site or building will be issued by your manager. In the event of inclement weather, your manager will make arrangements for all personnel to move to a shelter. Fire safety. In the event of a fire, employees should alert other persons in the immediate hazard area. Any employee can activate a fire alarm. Trained employees can use a fire extinguisher following these guidelines. Follow the pass method. P. Pull the safety pin. A. Aim the nozzle at the base of the fire. S. Squeeze the operating lever. And S. Sweep side to side, covering the base of the fire. When using a fire extinguisher, all employees in the vicinity must stay between the fire and the exit, staying low and backing away until the fire is extinguished. If the fire is too hot or too smoky, employees are encouraged to evacuate immediately, discarding the fire extinguisher. Employees should notify the manager on duty of the location of the fire. The manager will relay this information to the fire department upon arrival. Medical emergencies. Upon discovering a medical emergency, employees must call 911. Employees should notify a manager and report the nature of the medical emergency and location. Employees may stay with the person involved, being careful not to come in contact with any bodily fluids. A manager will send 2 employees, or greeters, to the entrance to wait for the fire department. Often, 2 fire department units will arrive, so the second greeter should wait at the entrance to receive the second unit, while the first greeter escorts the fire department personnel to the scene. Employees in the immediate vicinity of the emergency, but not directly involved, should leave the area. Management will make any necessary notifications to family members of the person suffering the medical emergency. If the emergency is work-related, the manager will report the incident to MBA and the workers' compensation carrier. Severe weather. The manager will monitor severe weather reports for any indication of an emergency. If a severe weather report is issued, the manager will immediately notify all employees as to what course of action to take. Employees will shut down all equipment, only if directed to do so, and will be instructed where to go for safety. The supervisor will continue to monitor the weather situation. When the severe weather warning is canceled, the manager will send runners to advise that it is safe to return to your work areas. Workplace violence. Any employee who feels that she or he has been threatened should immediately report their concern to their manager. If any person is observed exhibiting threatening behavior or making threatening statements, the person discovering the situation should warn others in the area and immediately notify their manager, staying away from the person exhibiting threatening behavior. Depending upon the level of concern, the police department should be called immediately. Never attempt to confront any person exhibiting threatening behavior. If you feel that you are being harassed by another employee, client, vendor, or other business associate, or witness another employee being harassed in violation of this policy, you must report this harassment immediately to MBA's Human Resources Department at area code 727-563-1500 or toll free at 888-622-6460. You may also leave a confidential message with contact information on the confidential hotline at 877-884-7700. If your complaint relates to MBA's Human Resources Department personnel, notify the president or an officer of MBA at 727-563-1500 or toll free at 888-622-6460. Your employer is an anti-harassment workplace. All threats and harassment should be reported without fear of discipline or retribution. Robberies. Greet all customers that come into your restaurant. If an argument or fight breaks out on the premise, call the police. Do not use physical force. Do not be drawn outside the restaurant for any reason. Do not try to physically stop a robber. Keep the robbery as short as possible. Do not resist or argue with the robber. Keep your hands visible at all times. Warn the robber of movements you are going to make, such as reaching for a bag or opening the cash register. Do not chase or follow the robber as he leaves. Call the police. And do not ever pull a weapon if you are being held up. Kitchen personnel safety. General safety guidelines. Do not remove safety guards provided on the equipment. When a safety guard is removed for the purpose of making repairs or cleaning, replace the guard before the equipment is put into operation. Do not place heated pots or pans in a position such that the handles are protruding over the edge of a range, table, or counter. Do not fill pots, pans, buckets, or cookers more than 2/3 of the way full. When adding ingredients to hot liquids, add small portions at a time to prevent splashing. Use the release valve to release pressure before opening pressurized steam kettles or pressure cookers. Transport hot liquids in closed containers. Use carts for moving large, hot items such as coffee urns, containers of hot water, or containers of hot food. Use the cart wheel locking lever to prevent movement while removing items from the cart. Turn off circuit breakers to kitchen cooking equipment when cleaning the equipment. Kitchen personnel safety. Knives, sharp instruments. Always wear a cut-resistant glove when using any knife. When handling knife blades and other cutting tools, direct sharp points and edges away from you. Cut in the direction away from your body when using knives. Use a knife that has been sharpened. Do not use knives that have dull blades. Do not use knives that have broken or loose handles. Do not use knives as screwdrivers, pry bars, can openers, or ice picks. Do not leave knives in the sink full of water. Do not pick up knives by their blades. Carry knives with their tips pointed toward the floor. Do not carry knives, scissors, or other sharp tools in your pockets or an apron unless they are first placed in their sheath or holder. Do not attempt to catch a falling knife. Store knives in knife blocks or in sheaths after using them. Do not use honing steels that do not have the disc guards. Safety success. Here are some examples of rules you can follow to set an example for others and help your safety program succeed. Do not engage in horseplay at the facility at any time. Stay focused on the task at hand. Allow your coworkers to stay focused at all times by refraining from distracting actions. Always wear the required personal protective equipment. Watch your footing at all times and never run to get where you are going. Remember that sanitation is key. Keep yourself and the facility clean and free from clutter, to prevent accidents. Know your limits. Never work at a height that makes you uncomfortable. Stop to reevaluate your approach if the work you are doing seems hazardous or dangerous in any way. Never perform work that you are unauthorized to do. Watch out for the safety of non-workers too. Customers or visitors can be seriously injured or killed if employees do not practice caution. Know what to do in the case of an emergency, whether it's an on-the-job injury or natural disaster. Thank you for participating in this training presentation. We hope that the information provided was useful and informative. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact your manager, or you may contact Modern Business Associates and ask to speak with one of our loss control managers. The number for Modern Business Associates is area code 727-563-1500. Thank you, and remember, stay safe.